What's up, it's Lech. Most of you know me from my work with As Blood Runs Black. I'm here today to break down my rig and show you what I'm currently rocking. Alright, let's go ahead and start with the kit. These are Crush drums. Crush is a fairly new drum company. They've been out for a couple of years. They had a lot of hype, a lot of push coming out right out the gate, which caught my attention. Immediately called them and asked, how can I be a part of the company and grow with them? And here we are today. They hooked me up with this Chameleon Ash kit. It's black. It looks really sexy. Trust me, if you want to get a little thrust, this bad baby will make you blush, because you never forget your first crush. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the heads. I use all Evans heads except for the kick drums. I have Aquarian Super Kicks for the kicks. I used to use the Evans EMADs too, and that's a great drum head actually. It's one of my favorites. The reason why I use the Aquarian 2 Super Kick 2s now is because the band recently upgraded, and for better image we have 2 kick drums now instead of 1, and we resorted to the triggers, and they work really well with the triggers. The EMAD, it had the outer layer muffling, and it was interfering with the triggers I use right now. As far as the heads are concerned, when I'm in the studio I use clear heads, and for some reason when I'm live I like to use the coated heads. I use G2s on top, coated. I use G1s on the bottom. For the snare, I use a Genera Dry, which is cool. It has these holes around the snare head where it'll allow you to crank it and get that nice poppy sound out of the snare. Unfortunately, I don't share a business relationship with Evans, so if anybody from Evans is watching this video, hit me up, and yeah, I would love to play for you guys. Alright, for the snare, this is a 13-inch Ash snare. And the reason I use 13 opposed to 14 is when I'm doing a lot of double pedal, my feet are close together and I was banging up my knees. That's what she said. But the 13 works great. I don't bang my knees at all, and it gives you a higher pitch, that little pop that I like to get out of a snare. That's why I use the 13. Alright, for the Crush drums, I use 10, 12, 16 toms. I have 2 20-inch kick drums. I used to use 22s. I use 20s now. I went down. The reason why I went down in size is because it gives you a little bit more hyper rebound, and it's a lot tighter, and it works perfect with the triggers, and so I decided to go down a notch. And for the pedals, I use DW 9000s with DW hardcore beaters. I used to use the stock ones. I worked with those for many of years. Back in 2008, when I originally left the group, I worked with a different group on the East Coast that had a lot of double pedal, and I needed something lighter, and I saw one of my idols, Tony Russell Jr., trying these pedals, these beaters out, and I thought I'd give it a go, and I never went back. Let's move on to the cymbals. I use all Sabian. Sabian is actually one of those companies that took my virginity with cymbals, so I'm actually honored that we do share a business relationship. And for crashes, I use the AAX 1819. I jump back and forth. Sometimes I use the Vault. They're a little brighter, a little thinner, which I like a little bit more than the AAX. But there's nothing wrong with the AAX. That's what I'm using now. And for the China, I have this Chad Smith Holy China. I heard a lot of hype about it. I actually got this cymbal on accident. We were going on tour, and I usually use a AA Chinese 18-inch, and we needed a replacement really quick, and this was in stock, and I ended up trying it out, and I love it, and it definitely gets the job done. It's really bright, it's really trashy, and that's the sound I was kind of going for. And this is my favorite ride ever. This is a Sabian HH Power Bell ride. It's 22 inches. It has a huge African nipple that has, the bell sound out of this is very piercing, and it cuts through, and that's the exact color I want if I were to have a bell on the ride, and it does just that. Moving on to their stage bell they have, I would say that Sabian kind of does need to step it up and make a better bell. It gets the job done. I used the competitor's bell before on the previous recordings, but now that Sabian and I have a deal, I resorted to their stage bell, their ice bell. It can be a little better, I hate to say that, but it definitely gets the job done. And for my splash, I have an AA 10-inch. My hi-hats are 14 inches AA accelerator hi-hats, and these are very bright and they cut through amazing. As for sticks, I use Vic Firth, another honorable company. They also took my virginity on the first pair of sticks I actually picked up and beat something up with it. So it's an honor to play for them. These are 5Bs and they're coated in white, and all they really did is just stamp, you know, our band logo and my signature on there. You can actually get these sticks anywhere without our band logo and my signature at any retail store. Just look it up, they're 5Bs, white coated. Alright, and for triggers, I'm using the Roland RT10K triggers. They work perfect. They do exactly what I need to do. They get the job done. And we're running this through an Alesis DM5 trigger module. This is a new toy for the band, and I'm still trying to get used to the interface. So big shout out and thanks to Shannon Lucas from Black Dollar Murder. He helped me with the settings. He actually programmed this for me. We're also running a PreSonus Fire Studio, which isolates all the tracks that we have running from our computers to MacBook Pro. We rerun our live sessions through Logic. You know, we have click coming out, we have guitar references for me, samples and whatnot, 808s, and it all isolates here in my personal mixing studio I have here. I can turn each track up, and it's all coming out through my stage headphones, which are Shure 215s. Now these headphones are fairly inexpensive and they get the job done. There's a lot of headphones out there that will cost you hundreds if not thousands of dollars. But I find that these get the job done and they're fairly inexpensive. These are Shure 215s. I recommend you try them out. Alright, a lot of drummers overlook it, but me being Puerto Rican, you think I have a big ass, but unfortunately I don't. Thank you, Mom. I have to rock the Rockin' Sock Throne. It's very comfortable and it cushions my bony ass. We have a little custom as Blood Runs Black Rockin' Sock Throne, and so yeah, it all ties down to the carpet. A lot of drummers overlook is a drum carpet. I suggest you invest into one. And ours, we have this nice hot pink fluorescent tape to mark how my drum is set up. So when we're breaking it down and setting it up every day, it's very consistent. And this is what keeps my rig together. This is a Pearl Icon drum rack. This is the old school kind that's straight, it's not curved, and I only use two sides. It's like a V, and that's all I need. Thank you for taking the time on checking out this video. That's my gear breakdown. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave a comment or check out our Facebook. There's tons of links in the description. Imagine making movies, dog.
Right?
They're like, oh, oh! No, more intense. Oh! Alright, anyways. Okay.
Alright, action.